This you will remember because I just talked about it, but while I was writing everything down, I felt there were still other advantages that I haven't talked about, and that's what I'm gonna do in the next part. You know, I talked about the 10 previous ones, but there are other very important advantages that I didn't talk about it. First of all, there are also a lot of people who drink alcohol because they cannot sleep without, so they use it to sleep better. Also, a lot of people they drink it because it's in their culture. In Belgium, they have a very beer culture. A lot of people drink because the doctor tells them it's good to drink 1 glass of wine every day. Also, a lot of people, they say they drink because they have cravings. There's like a little voice inside of them. They say, I need to drink, I need to drink. So, cravings. Maybe not everybody will know all the words, but I'm gonna explain them better. Also, a lot of people say they drink because they have stress. They drink because society has a high pressure. And the last one I want to talk, for me a very important one, is responsibility. So, I'm just going to do the same thing as in the previous video. I'm going to think about it. A lot of people say, when I drink alcohol, I sleep much better. You know it already? The question is it true? Is it true? What do you think for yourself? Is it really true? No. If you drink, you will fall asleep much faster because you numb yourself. But maybe you have noticed that you get up every 3-4 hours and you don't feel very good. You need to go to the bathroom. And a lot of people, when they quit drinking alcohol, then they really sleep a lot better. I can tell you for myself, the day I quit drinking is the day that I become a really good sleeper. And you have to try it for yourself. Don't drink for a couple of days and watch yourself, your sleep. You will feel so much better when you get up. So a lot of people think they sleep better, but it's not true at all. A lot of people say, yeah, but drinking is in our culture. It's what we do. But is it because it's in a culture that we have to do it? It's the same like everybody does it. Is it because everybody is drinking, you also need to do it? The culture is also the brainwashing from the culture you are in. So maybe you will sometimes feel apart or alone, but always listen to your little voice, to yourself, what you really want to do. Do you want to drink or do you don't want to drink? So it's not because it's in the culture that you have to do it. I'm from Belgium and we have this amazing beer culture, but for me it's just a big brainwashing. I know I am extreme in what I say, but it's really to let you think about the things that I say. I also give a lot of lectures to young people, and I'm also very extreme. Sometimes the teachers, they say, you're too extreme, but when they're so young, you have to make really another view. You have to tell this other view, so then things keep on staying in their mind. So culture, it's a bad excuse to drink. Sometimes the doctor says, yeah, but a good glass of wine is very good. And I have a lot of doubts about it. The doctors, with all due respect to the doctors, but they have a very clinical, scientific approach to alcohol. And the approach that I use is the beliefs. It's a whole different approach. When I went to my doctors, 5 years ago and I told him that I was an alcoholic, because when I started I couldn't stop, he told me I was exaggerating. He was like, no, you're not an alcoholic. And I was like, yeah, I'm an alcoholic. So the perception of doctors is totally different. Also, important note, a lot of doctors, they have even themselves a problem with alcohol. So is that the right person who can help you? I don't know. So always think about who do you listen to. I am already sober for a couple of years. You don't have to believe everything that I say, but I know that it works. I'm living the example every day and I do it. So you can listen to me and stay sober, or maybe you can listen to other people who drink, but they will give you different advice. So be very intelligent. Who do you listen to? A lot of people, they say, yeah, but I have a craving. It's like you don't have the control and you need that beer. And I try to see it differently. When there's a craving and it's like also a little voice who says, yeah, give me some beer, give me some beer. I think we made a link to alcohol. It's like a little voice in ourselves, and we make the link to alcohol. We make the link to alcohol because we do not know better. Maybe this little voice is telling you, quit your job, or maybe start a new relationship, or I don't know. So we always do the link, yeah, it's alcohol, it's alcohol. I try to listen to these little voices. It whispers, but maybe it's trying to tell me something else. And if you drink, you cannot listen to this little voice because you're numbing yourself. And that's something that we will have to do. We will have to make the link in a different way. The first year I was sober, every time this craving was there, I did something else. I went running, I went for a walk, I went bicycling, I did a painting, I started to write, I had a journal. So for me, it was a motivator, the craving was a motivator to do something else. You see? So, a lot of people say, I drink because I have stress. And stress is a signal to your body that you have to do something with yourself. And when there's stress, your body is saying to you, you have to do this, you have to do this. It's a state of very high energy that you have to be alert to maybe something that happens. And we see stress as something bad, something very negative. I use stress in my life to achieve things. I listen to my body and I try to handle the stress in a good way. It's a little bit the same by walking, by maybe running. Stress is there to tell me something. So try to listen to the stress. Sometimes it's very difficult, I know, but try to listen to it because it's telling you something and it's not something negative. So try to see it differently. In everything I say also, it's the way we look at things will define who we are as a person. It's the perspective we see things, that is a perspective how we see the world. Sometimes you can change a little perspective and you see a whole different world. That's also what I'm trying to do with everything I do now. Also, I already talked about it in the beginning of the video, but our society is very alcohol-minded. You have the advertising, you have the parties, alcohol, alcohol. There are even songs about alcohol. There ain't no party with an alcoholic party. Maybe you know the song. So our society is really based on alcohol. But it's not because they do it that you have to do it. So there will always be the pressure of the society, but know that the pressure is there because if you don't drink, and another person drinks, he will not feel good. And he will try to convince you, oh, drink alcohol, drink alcohol. Then he doesn't have to do anything about his behavior. If you keep on staying sober, he will not feel comfortable anymore. That's what's happening. You become a mirror for a lot of your friends, your family, and they trigger. And you trigger them. But it's their process and they have to handle it. It's not your process. And the last one I have written down, but if there are still more, you can always send them to me. But for me, one of the major things I drank alcohol was because being an adult is taking responsibilities. And a lot of people have problems with taking responsibility. We have to take care of so many things. We have to eat very good, we have to be healthy, we have to earn money, we have to do this, we have to do that. And sometimes all these responsibilities, it's too much. And what I've learned is that people are afraid of taking this responsibility. They drink, but then you don't take anything of responsibility. So if you want to take your responsibility, start already to get sober. So taking responsibility, for me, it's one of the major things. And while I'm here, I have the last one that I want to tell you. And that's also very important to me. And a lot of people drink because it gives them a kind of freedom. For me, if I think about myself, my parents, I love my parents very much, but I always had to be the best and everything has to be good, and sometimes it gave me a lot of pressure. And when I was drunk, I could let the pressure go. It was something like, it gave me, I could breathe again. But you see, that's the very interesting thing about the freedom, that if you are drinking alcohol, that you are not having that freedom. You are in a cage, you are locked up, because somewhere it gives you freedom, but in the other way you are dependent on alcohol. I learned how to get free in a sober way. And how did I become free? It's taking responsibilities and speaking my truth, what I really am and what I really want. So you see all these advantages we have. The balance needs to be gone. The balance has to be away. As long as you see one positive thing, you will keep on doing it. So erase all the positive things, and there's no balance. For me, since the day I quit drinking alcohol, the balance is gone. And that's also what you have to do for yourself. If your balance is gone, you will let alcohol go forever.